Yes, my name is Chris Odongo from Uganda. Uganda is from Africa, specifically in East Africa, just around Lake Victoria. We have Kenya and Tanzania as neighbors. I'm a father of 5. My wife went to the glory in 2012. So I live with my 5 kids. 4 of them still live with me. 1 is not living with me. In Uganda, I live in a town called Gulu. It's to the northern part of Uganda, just next to South Sudan. Our parish is called Holy Rosary, and our fellowship group is called Companions of Jesus Prayer Group, which gave birth to Companions of Jesus Ministries, for which I am the team leader. I'm also the national coordinator for the Healing and Deliverance Ministry in Uganda. I found myself in the deliverance ministry way back in 1992 when I joined the Charismatic Renewal, somehow by accident. I found myself there because one day somebody just said, pray for me, and I'd never prayed for anybody, but she said, I see you with those people. They pray for others, you also pray for me. So out of fear, because I was not sure of what was going to happen, I told her, well, I'm going to pray for you, but on one condition, that you don't look at me, you close your eyes. So this lady closed her eyes, and I also closed my eyes, and I put my hands over her head. As I prayed, when I opened up my eyes, the woman was not there, she was aside. So I told her, what happened? Why have you moved? I told you not to close the eyes. And she told me, you are wasting my time. I said, how? She said, as soon as you started praying, my headache went away, but you are not stopping praying. So I was uncomfortable being there. So I had, and she was looking at me. So that's how I got myself into the healing ministry. In Uganda, we have been doing ministry over the years, all different styles and formats. Many people do ministry, but with very little formation. I met the Unbound model in 2012 in Uganda. We were trained by Lloyds and Nancy, and it did a great thing in my life. By that time, there was some sexual sin that I didn't believe that God could forgive, or God had forgiven. I couldn't. It always haunted me. It always came back. I went for confession over confession, but it was always there. So it was only when they prayed for me, the Unbound, the 5 keys, I remember forgiving, and I renounced the lie. That was the first time I heard about a lie, renouncing a lie. I'd never known that. So when I renounced that lie that God does not forgive some sins, after that, wow, I was free. And it has never bothered me anymore. Then in 2013, when I heard that the 5 keys was being taught in Tanzania, I said, no, I have to go for a second dose. So I traveled to Tanzania in 2013, and the training was facilitated by Miriam Wright and Matt Lozano. It was another good experience for me. And ever since that time, I've been involved together with my teammates in using the 5 keys. First, we use it in our prayer groups, in our prayer group, where we minister every Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. People come to us. Yeah, people have known about it, and they come from all places. And there is one comment they always make. Your prayer approach is different. You know, in Uganda, if you know manual labor or mechanical systems, the prayer ministries are like battlefields. People fight, we struggle. I used to do that a lot as well. We used to do wrestling when you are doing deliverance. But from that time, all those things have ceased. So people have known about it. They say, no, if you don't want to be wrestled, you don't want to be dirty, then go to that place. So, so we pray there's a lot of respect and a lot of, all right? So we pray there. And I use the 5 keys in 4 different ways. The first one is for personal deliverance. For personal deliverance. I never knew that I could pray for myself. I used to think when you want prayer, just look for somebody to pray for you. But after the 5 keys, it became very easy to pray for myself. That's the first one. And we also train people to pray for themselves. And 2, the in-depth prayer ministry for others, those who come seeking ministry. So we go through them, through the sharings and everything, just as it is taught. And number 3, we also conduct deliverance services for groups, and many times it's on Sundays. It's on Sundays that when we conduct deliverance services, we apply the 5 keys. We just take the groups through the 5 keys, number 1 to 5, and many times there are testimonies after that. And the 4th way we use it is in training others. We have moved across Uganda in several dioceses, offering training, the 5 keys. Just last month, we talked about the 5 keys in Kenya. We're in the town called Mombasa. Just before I came, there was a team doing the 5 keys in one of our dioceses called Ginger. And 21st, which is I think tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Yes. Yes. 21st tomorrow, our team will be talking about the 5 keys in Emmaus Center in Soroti. So we train others also in the use of the 5 keys, and the results are remarkable. What do I love about the 5 keys? One, it's very simple. It's very simple. Once I know or you know about the 5 keys, basically that is all you need to know. Do the 5 keys and leave the rest to God, and you wait for the results. I've seen a lot of wonders, God doing lots of things without you figuring out what you're supposed to do and all that. No, just the 5 keys, trust God, the results are there. And number 2, it's reproducible. It's easy to train people, all right? We used to do training before, teach people about very many things, but when people go out, they don't know how to approach it practically. All right? You would have taught them a lot of things, yes, but how to approach a situation practically is hard. But with the 5 keys, it's very easy. And the other beautiful thing, the 3rd one, it's non-confrontational. We used to have the confrontational approach with the evil spirits. And wow, tell me, it was chaotic. We used to have a lot of chaotic ministries, and at times, you go there once and you don't go back for the 2nd time because you leave the place when you are embarrassed. But this one is really not. And then the other 4th thing why I love it is, it has taken my perspective away from looking at the enemy, looking at Satan when I'm doing ministry, but focusing on Jesus and focusing on God. So it's evangelistic in a way, and that's another beauty of it. Previously, we used to focus so much on Satan to the extent that we could have dialogue and discussion with evil spirits. Okay, a lot of it, and it used to be really, really, really chaotic. And again, the other thing is it's a quiet ministry, very quiet. I remember when Lloyds and Nancy were doing this, and they were talking about having quiet ministry in Uganda. People couldn't believe it. People said, no, it's not possible. They said, you know, the evil spirits in Africa, unless you shout, they'll never go away. Yeah, but that is not true. It's not true. We have wasted a lot of energy, a lot of strength, a lot of shouting and dancing, which is not really necessary. It's all about Jesus. How it has impacted over my life? One, I used to look at deliverance many times in the area of exorcism. I thought only somebody okay, severely possessed or something needed deliverance. I didn't know, even myself, I needed it. All right. So that was a very big impact. And the issue of the lie, also, it taught me to look at deliverance from the angle of breaking of the power behind habitual patterns in our daily lives that I didn't know before. Of course, another way, I've already talked about it, our ministries were mechanical, now they're much better. And also, as we do ministry, as I do ministry these days, I focus on the person and we share, all right, we interact. But before, it wasn't that way. Much of the interaction was between the minister and the demon. Okay, and of course, knowing very well that the demon is a liar, yes, we were fed on a lot of lies every day. That is no longer there. And the other thing, the other impact is it minimizes manifestations. I never knew how to minimize manifestations during ministry until when I did this program, right? When we would start prayer ministry and somebody begins to manifest, the person manifests up to the end. In fact, the manifestation continues to increase as you go by. But when I did the 5 keys, okay, there is a way we can reduce the manifestations. For instance, somebody begins to manifest. I remember Lloyd's demonstrating to us, tapping on somebody, say, hey, I want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to the evil spirit. I want to talk to John. Then says, what thought was going over your mind? And the person tells you. And when you get back to that, the person renounces that, and you take authority. Next thing, the person is free. I never knew that. We never knew that. So it's really, really interesting. So there are many testimonies that have been coming across Uganda about the 5 keys. What plans do we have? Well, plans in Uganda, we plan to move to as many dioceses. We have already covered many dioceses, but not all. But we plan to move to as many dioceses as possible. And not only, we also pray that the Lord only doesn't stop in Uganda. The Lord blessed us to go to Kenya. It was wonderful. And we shall be going back to Kenya again next year. They have already given us an invitation. Because when you went through this, there was one comment that everybody made, said, where has this been all this long? Where has this been all this long? And they said, we have suffered a lot with our clergy, we have conflicted, we have quarreled over ministry, but this one is different. In fact, somebody said, I've done seminars and programs, but this one is 1.5. Yes, and we pray that not only Kenya, since where we are close to Southern Sudan, and we are close to Congo. Yeah, it's my vision, it's my prayer that the Lord will take us there too. God bless you.